Hey everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm looking at this background. Do you like this
I
background?
do.
You do?
I do.
You don't want something a little bit better? You like it? Oh, it's all right. It's cute.
Well, we were popping.
We haven't tried it.
I know we were popping last week though.
Yeah, I had done a different one. Come on in, guys. Come on in. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Did you go to the funeral?
I did.
You did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
I was looking for you. Were you back? I think
way back. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
That was way back.
Yeah. So come on in, guys. We're going to talk about all of that tonight. We have our senior technician working over here. He's in his scrubs. Justin, come in and wave to the people. Say hi.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah. Come on in.
Yes, welcome. As I get set up, because I got lost in the transition of how to do this.
Thank you. I like that. I was looking online, looking how to elongate my neck.
Just do it. All right, yes. So tell us where you all are.
Yeah, tell us where you guys are coming in.
From, yes. What city are you representing? What city are you representing? We have a lot to cover today, guys. We have a
lot of things going on. So come on in. Hey, Kiana.
Hey,
she said she can't hear us. Make sure that's not a you thing, because on us, let me check and see. Our mic is working. It said right here. Yep. Well, let us know. Let us know when you can hear us, Kiana. I'll keep this right. She says she can now.
Okay.
All right. Perfecto. I don't know what order we're gonna do. We got so much to do. So
I don't know. Just however it comes.
However it comes. I know you started with something. You had something that you told me. I was like, you're gonna start with that. You remember what it was?
The Vanessa Bryant and the Suing situation, I think it was.
The Suing, it's just so much more now. Because she's absent-minded. She forgot to mention the parents. There was so much going on that I didn't even realize the parents were behind me.
Well,
I was above the front row. I was in front of Vanessa. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yes, but that's I had really good seats.
That's what the place to be.
Wonderful. Yeah. I did all my part off air before we went live. So.
Okay. So let's Welcome. Who else do we have up here? Kiana. Who else?
Can we tell?
I'm trying to get in.
I don't even know.
And I don't know what's happening.
Everybody over here. Oh yeah. Okay, so we have Dustin Dawn, Carolyn P. Finney, Deborah Gravely, Stephanie Turner, Tim Gravely,
hey,
Matthew
Shannon.
Moreland, Tamisha, Carolyn. All right, we're gonna get this thing started. Franklin County, that's right.
Kiana.
All right. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Please press like and please press share. We got some topics we're about to jump into. We had a little pre-meeting and it got a little heated. So I had to stop conversation because, it was one of those things. So tonight's going to be pretty hot. We want to hear your thoughts. So make sure that you chime in. I'm going to go ahead and put the link on just in case anybody ever has the nerve to, all you have to do is click on the link and then we'll bring you on screen with us. So people can hear you and see how fabulous you look. So we've been doing this, 2 months?
Yes.
No one has had the nerve to do it yet for whatever reason. I thought Nate would have done it, but he didn't even do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready for you guys. What are we going to get started with, Shanika?
I think we should just jump right on into the Vanessa Bryant. There's a lot to cover. I don't really want to stay on it very long, but we do have some things that we want to discuss about the celebration of life that happened yesterday, and then some other things that came out after the celebration of life. The people who spoke, and it was couple of young ladies, and of course I can't think of their names at this point, that spoke at the celebration of life. And then of course Shaq spoke, and Michael Jordan spoke, and then the MC was the late night. Was it Kim? What's his name?
That was that Kimmel?
Was it? I think it was Kimmel.
I think it was Kimmel.
Okay.
That had the tearful, emotional speech.
Yes.
I didn't see that, but I read.
And the best friend. I forgot. I don't want to miss the best friend.
Yes,
Kobe's
the best friend. Kobe's best friend. Missed that one too.
Yeah.
But okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
What did you think about the overall event?
Okay. Well, actually, I mean, I think it was a very heartfelt event.
Heartfelt.
I think that I commend her to be able to stand up there and read a 2.5 to 3 page letter to her daughter and to her husband with only a couple of kind of breakdowns in a sense.
Shanika is so full of it. Does not even reflect the conversation we just had. Just want to let you know. But go ahead. You can finish that.
I think that she was more sensitive when it came to her daughter, more so than her husband. I think that she looked at them as a team. I think that she said that on several occasions throughout her speeches. They were a team, that he had Gigi and now she has Coco, BB, and Bianca, Capri, and Natalia.
How do you remember the baby's names?
Because it's so easy. Bianca is I like Bianca. I like that name.
What is it?
Natalia.
Okay. All right. But it was a couple people in the room, it's only 3 of us here, who felt like it was not sincere, it was not heartfelt. I think it was just brought to our attention that they said that she didn't even acknowledge that his parents were there.
Yeah, because I did not know that his parents were there until I read it in an article. I did not know that they were there. I was actually wondering if they were there, and then I read it in an article. And then you said that you don't feel like it was necessary for her to do that because their family was made up of her husband, and their children. Yeah. And I can understand that, but I think that if his parents are still living, that I do think that, because I think that they're hurting too. They're hurting. And I just think a very simple acknowledgement of, Mr. and Mrs. Bryant, I mean, she could have just said something.
She could have. Yes. She could have said a lot of things. She could have, the barber, all those 2 people who are special in his life. But the fact that she did not, does that make it such a big issue? Is this a controversy? She didn't acknowledge his parents. She don't love Kobe. Because in all actuality, they could have said something.
Well, yes, they could have.
Now, if she had said you can't speak, then I would say that would be that's an issue. I think our producer.
Yeah. She did tell him that they was not allowed to speak, even then to his sisters.
Oh,
she would not let them be on program at all.
They couldn't be on program. Allegedly.
I need you to show it to me.
Hold on.
That she would not allow them to speak.
Let me check the sources. Our producer. This is the roving reporter.
I need to
Justin GS on the scene.
So the sisters was there too. They were not allowed to speak.
Okay, hold on. Rolling out. That's pretty credible. Let's see. Kobe Bryant's fans angry his parents were not mentioned at the memorial. His parents. It starts with the parents of Kobe Bryant, who brought him into the world and raised him into the NBA legend that he became, were not acknowledged during the memorial on the 25th. And many fans are saying something about it. Blah 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 blah. But the most important people in the room were the families of Kobe Bryant. The TV cameras constantly panned over to Vanessa Bryant. She was the centerpiece of the solemn proceedings as his widow, with her surviving children in tow, gave a tributing speech, blah, 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 blah. But seated on the opposite end of the road, so that's what it was, where Vanessa sat was Kobe's birth family, Joe and Pam, along with Bryant's sisters, Sharia and Shea. So those must have been those people that were on the end that I kept saying. I was like, well, who are they? Because they were very stoic, very emotionalist. And I was like, they didn't look, of course they didn't look happy, but they didn't look like a warm, like we're here together to support
Right,
And
right.
So it looked like they had some issues that were going on.
Well,
If it's the people, allegedly, we gotta say allegedly.
well, because I was looking at, okay, so Shaq, like I said, Shaq spoke and Michael Jordan spoke, and then his best friend. Now, I'm not saying that the man is or is not, or was not his best friend, but I was just a little thrown aback when I was like, oh, that's his best friend. And then my client was like, well, have you noticed that it's not many Black people up here like speaking or saying anything, that most of the people are
They ain't singing all Black songs either.
No,
I ain't had no Precious Lord. And I was zooming. I was like, well, where's the Precious Lord?
And then she sung it.
Ave Maria. That's a Christmas song, ain't it?
First of all, was it in Italian or?
I don't know. I fast forward because I was waiting for. I thought Shirley Caesar. Where was Shirley? Yolanda Adams. None of them. Were there.
And then Beyonce said the song she sung was his favorite song, and I was like, where?
I'm like, I ain't never heard that song. EXO.
Maybe she sung at their wedding.
I don't know that Alicia Keys. Okay, I got that Alicia
Beyonce
Keys
pregnant.
Okay.
Or is she eating? Which one?
I think she's eating because my class said the same thing, and I said,
"Well,
she
swole."
Yeah, right.
I know I'm the last person to be talking about Fluffy, but she looked a little
in her hip area. They said that
her neck, her throat, her hip, her waist. She was a little sad, everything.
I mean, she's getting a little older though.
Okay. Right. What y'all say? I know Kiana says she wouldn't be Miss Vanessa Bryant if it wasn't for them. True. But okay, could she not have been caught up in emotion and it just slipped? Well, she had everything written down.
Okay, this is what I was about to say too.
Tamisha, wait a minute. Tamisha over here says, was Kobe estranged from his family somehow? Could be a good point.
Well, I did read earlier on when at the beginning of his death, I guess, his parents did not. I read that his parents did not go to his wedding because they wanted him to have Vanessa sign a prenup, and he did not. So they were upset about that. And then my client also said something about his parents were trying to sell some of his jerseys or something.
No.
Allegedly, like I don't know when this was. Allegedly, they were supposed to be trying to sell some of his jerseys, and then he was estranged from the parents at first. So then he worked things out with the mother, and then but he was still, and it took a little bit longer for the father. But the father was I think he was an NBA player at one point in time, and things like that. But I'm not sure. But what I was going to say was, what if they had put together everything and they did not acknowledge her? And just maybe acknowledge the kids and never say anything about her.
That was good, Shanika. That was good. You made me think. That was good. Yeah, that would be wrong. That would be wrong. So I gotta think of something else. Something better than that, huh? But listening to the thing, my intelligent opinion is that there was beef. She probably already knew it was bad blood. Maybe she wasn't there. We don't know what was going on. I mean, I knew he had parents, but I never heard of his parents. And then I think that people carry people how you carry them. So it's like if you, or even me, if we had beef with our parents and then something happened to us, is your spouse then in turn supposed to be like, okay, well, come on in or whatever, or are they supposed to still carry it like, okay, well, things y'all still weren't on the up and up. Are we supposed to let that go? Yeah.
Is life too short? Is it in death?
You know what? And that's the problem. This is a totally another different situation, but that's the problem when you're in relationships and you tell your family and your friends problems that are in your relationship, and then because what happens is, you're going to this person like, if you're my friend and me and Justin have a problem and I'm coming to you, Justin, blah, 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 blah. Well, later on that night, me and Justin made up and we moved on to the next thing. But in your mind is Justin did X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So that's every time I come to you about Justin, it's a problem. So your opinion towards him is bad, even though we over all those issues that I talked to you about.
Okay, so let me tell you.
So maybe in his thing, maybe Kobe did have issues with his parents. And when he went home and told, the wife, maybe, her impression that the things weren't always that good. So her impression or their relationship with his parents directly, maybe is not that great.
Right.
So of course they wouldn't be in. Was her mom there?
Yes. No, her sister was there. I think her parents were there. But I think her sister was sitting on one side of her, and then maybe the parents.
So much. Are you cold? Is it cold in the studio?
Her.
Okay.
Oh, Kiana says
what do you
Hotel
want?
will
What
be
do you
trying
want
to
to say?
sue them.
The whole thing was just a bunch of mess. I hate to say it. It was a show. She was not sincere. To me, it was like she was to put on a show for herself. To me, if you can get through reading a 2 to 3 page paper,
Or
just
five.
then lose a 5, I don't care how many it was, and you have lost your husband and your child, I would have been able to sit up at that podium by myself, first of all. Now let's get through that paper. As soon as I would have spoke, that would have said, you know what? Let's just shut this whole damn thing down. Y'all can go home. To me, it's like, when did you grieve? Because 24 hours after they died, you open up your Instagram and all of this and gave these statements and all of this. To me, a publicist.
So is your statement that she didn't care?
To me, she don't care. I'm being honest.
I mean, and then right after,
it's like she moved on with life.
And then right after the celebration of life, the story then came out that she was suing the helicopter company. I mean, like literally, like right after the celebration of life, I was scrolling through and saw that she was suing them. But I think that there was some sincerity there, but I just think that I just wouldn't. I mean, Michael Jordan was broke down. Like he even made a comment about the meme that he's gonna have to watch all over again to himself. The young lady, the one who spoke in Spanish at the end of her speech, like she broke down. Even the young lady who had to come back and play, I think she plays for Oregon. She played last night. Like I saw Vanessa break down a couple of times, but I never. It was like a crack in the voice, but not necessarily like I don't know if I would have been able to stand up there and read that by myself. I would have had somebody. I would have had to bring somebody up there with me and like, okay, if I happen to stop or if I can't move on, can you please continue to read this? Because like my first line, if it was my daughter, like even my husband, I don't think I would have been able to just make it all the way through.
Okay, so Yolanda, my cousin, hey Yolanda, said yes, he was estranged due to a few things. He had sued his mom, I think, because she tried to sell his belongings.
Okay.
And true, they were not happy. He married Vanessa. They actually hadn't spoken in years. He had to share Tamisha said he had to share his innermost thoughts with her. And then too, they might have treated her indifferent prior to the service. Absolutely. That's what I say. I definitely don't get the point there. I mean, even if, and I initially thought because, he had cheated and there was a part where she was going to file or maybe had filed and then retracted, something like that.
That $10,000.
Oh, that right. Yeah, that she was.
Yes.
That she kept doing that. Yeah.
That $10,000
beautiful,
ring.
beautiful.
That,
but
I cheated on you. Ring.
She, but she still had to have feelings for me. I don't agree with the fact that she didn't have any.
No, I think she had. I do think that she. No,
I do believe her strongest, of course, is the child. Yeah. I think we've had a topic before, like, are you more committed to your husband or your child? I think of something like that.
Well, I think this is my thoughts about that.
Yeah,
I feel like this. I think anybody who is giving birth to a child or who is connected to a child, I feel like I'm more connected to my child because we share blood. I do not share blood with my husband.
See, I remember the conversation. I disagree with that.
I just feel like there's a connect. I think for him the same thing. I think that his connection with his daughter to me would be stronger with the one that he shares blood with.
So his connection to her, to the Gigi, was stronger than his connection to Vanessa.
I think that it's the bloodline to me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think I just think that in that situation, I think, okay, it's like she shares my blood. This person is like, okay, like it's like they say, blood. In cases, it's like blood is thicker than water. But I just feel like, in some cases, I just feel like that's kind of like how it is. I don't know, Justin. Today's social media is life. It's like the new age of grief. People put everything on social media because you don't know when anything is genuine nowadays. You're right. That's what Kiana said that. We need to backtrack a little bit.
Okay. Yolanda said, I don't agree. I think she cared. they had a memorial for her and the family a week prior to this, right? So I don't even know who. I'm sure the parents were in attendance to that. Remember, she had
yeah. But that's why I was like, did she get it all out then at the
Well, what happened to her being a strong woman?
I just don't know.
Isn't that y'all don't y'all share that?
Y'all don't know, not when it comes, not for me, because sometimes I could just think, even with Walter, like sometimes I could just think like,
if something happened.
Like, yes, and it's just a thought, and I'm just broke down.
Yeah, I have all those all the time.
I'm broke.
No, I'm like crying.
She must have cried for no reason.
I was just thinking, I'm just making up shit in my mind.
I'm like, oh my God, Lord. Like,
yeah.
And then and Asia has even said to me, like, we talked about it, and I'm like, and I try to say things not to scare them, but for them to be mindful.
Yeah.
Like we were talking yesterday, and I was like, Asia, listen. Like, you're going to have to start doing these things yourself because I'm not going to always be here. And then she was like, Mama, you just took that way and then I was like, no, but I need you to understand that I'm not going to always be here. And in her mind, she's like, she has said to me, I need to die before you, because if I don't die before you, I don't know how I will handle being here without you. And it's just like, that just rips me apart. Like when she says that, but I'm not saying she didn't love her husband. I'm not saying that, but I'm definitely going to watch this story to
see how it unfolds.
Yes.
Okay, it's definitely going somewhere because she's suing the people. Justin, you had a good thing for why you felt like she was suing the helicopter people, right?
Yeah, I believe she was suing them to protect his estate. So if the family sue her, she got some cushion to give them.
Because she's suing the estate. She's suing the pilot's estate. She's suing the helicopter company.
Really?
But they said with the pilot's estate, that's already a lost battle with his lawyers, because the people gave him the okay to fly, then told him to turn around, and he did what they told him to do. So they said there's going to be a lost battle with that case.
I read that, and they said that he signed a contract that said that he was not to fly that helicopter under
so many
under weather that was not permitted to fly.
They gave him permission that day to fly. The people gave him permission to fly, supposedly, allegedly. So, but when they told him to turn around, he turned around. That's when all that, I guess, mess happened.
The fog and all that.
Tamisha said they all could be money hungry and fighting over what he left behind. I'm sure they got something to do with it.
Yeah,
because I read something about the estate, like worth $1 billion, right?
And she got the entire estate.
Oh yeah, so they pissed. They're real mad.
Okay, so then let me ask you now, because I was wondering about this too. Now, if you had gotten the whole entire estate, you got, would you give?
Give what?
Would you give Justin's family?
No phone number? What?
Would you give, or would you give?
I'm more inclined to give than this.
No, I'm being honest. The way his mother and father was receptive of me, yes, I would. And I hate to say this on air, he better not get my side of the family shit. But Cynthia and Henry, point blank period.
We're gonna go to commercial right now. We've never been to a commercial, but we'll
be right back.
Yeah. Okay, so let's quickly move on to another subject.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna stay tuned to that, because it's I don't know.
I would have to ask my husband what he.
In my all hearts of hearts, this is what I feel. I feel like,
because what would be enough
to the family?
Yes, right. What would be enough?
I mean, I don't know. Number one, I don't know how that presentation is. Here's some money, or what do you say? I know Kobe. Then Kobe wouldn't have wanted it. I don't know how you give somebody money because somebody died. What do you do?
I don't think you
put it in the card. How do you present that? What is the purpose of you doing
at the what do you call it? The
wait.
No, when everybody comes?
The repast.
No, when they read
the will reading.
Yes, that.
Oh, you give it to her then?
Yeah, I mean, couldn't you just set up something and say, okay, we're gonna have the family come over, and then
probably not.
Probably
not. Not especially if it's a situation like this where they've already been bickering over money, and I'm sure they're already expecting and they're waiting for it. They wouldn't get it from me. But I would show up done. Done. Yeah, who's these comments right here?
Okay,
go ahead, read that.
Okay, where are you? Oh, Rosalind says she needs to start stacking dollars because those other families are coming after Kobe's estate, no doubt.
But can they get Kobe? They're going after the insurance, the helicopter.
No, they went after him because it was rented up under his name and up under his company and all of that. So he's responsible, I guess, for them being on there and all of that.
Don't they possibly have insurance that doesn't come like with an insurance?
But like I said, those families are not rich like Kobe's family is.
Yeah, but I think that I think what's going to happen is those families. She because if you at the end of the thing, she kept on saying donate to the foundation to help out the families. Mm-hmm. So that money's when people donating those monies will be allocated to the families. And I think that I really honestly think that she may be suing on behalf of Kobe and Gianna, but I think that she's also suing on behalf. I would like to think that she is suing also on behalf of the other 7 people. Mm-hmm. And I think that the helicopter company is going to fold. Like it will be. That's the end of that.
Well, they said 24 hours after it happened on that, the company pulled down their website and everything else, and I guess like shut down their business for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jan says, I'm honestly glad she spoke. Hearing her side of who her husband and Gigi were on a more personable level was beautiful.
It was. Rosalind said, Will said, I say a lot. Kiana said, just buy them a house and a car and they better figure it out after that. She has 3 kids to take care of. Right. Adrian, hey Adrian. I disagree that Kobe would be liable. I disagree with that too.
Yeah, I think it would be more of the helicopter. But again,
I'm sure somebody's going to try it. Yeah. Yolanda said the aircraft crew told him all flights were grounded and they flew anyway. Ugh. The pilot has also gotten in trouble. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Some years prior to flying in cloudy conditions.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was the thing because they were saying that a lot of people had turned around or not been going. So why would they take the helicopter up? Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily think I would be very surprised, and I do think that perhaps a family may try to sue mm-hmm. Kobe's estate. But I think that everything is going to be put back on the helicopter and the pilots.
We have a studio audience. I just realized that. Look at God. We got a studio audience. We need to get you a hand clap so it can sound like a lot of people. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So let's move on. Okay, let's do a fun one. I want to talk about this. I'm just gonna bring this on the screen. So, can y'all see that? It's about tipping, pretty much. Do we have that problem? I don't think we have that problem with the tipping. Okay, so this is a check. So she goes out to this check. This is evidently something posted from the waitress. So she goes out. The ticket comes up to $184.14. The people leave her a $15.86 tip, totaling $200. At the bottom of it, they wrote, "Thank you for a wonderful experience, Erica." Smiley face with 3 exclamation points. So she's upset. She says, 8% tip. Compliments don't pay my tuition. If you like this, go F yourself. I don't know. What do y'all feel about that? How do you feel about, number one, what's your tipping policy? Tipping really didn't become that important to me to where I was really, really conscious about it until I got into my line of business. Because, I have clients that I do, and I know my clients who tip. I'm very cognizant of who tips, and I'm very cognizant of who doesn't tip. So I make sure when I go out, especially to anybody who's service related, barbers, restaurants, people who are doing lawn services, I make sure that I tip. I make sure that I'm very gracious, and I show a lot of gratitude to even my waitresses. I tell them, I really enjoyed you. Did a really good job. But I do also make sure I back that up with being, tipping. How do you feel about this? Do you think she was wrong for being upset? She got, what is 184? What are you supposed to get for that? Like 20, Adrian, she's into accounting. Adrian, $184.14 tip. And then what are you supposed to get with that? What is the tip rate? Is it 18%?
Well, okay, so I'm at 15. It's 15, 18, or 20. They took 10 all the way off. So it's now,
all the way off.
Yeah, so it's 15, 18, or 20. So that's
she said this was
$27.62 for 15%.
So she should have got $27 tip. But she got $15, and because I guess she wanted to round it up to an even $200. Tamisha said nowadays she better be glad to get anything. I have clients who are very close to me who don't tip $1. And yes, I am in my feelings about it. I just don't say nothing. But
especially when you're doing a great deal of work, when you're really, and then like if you don't tip and you're not really causing me a whole bunch of extra problems, like okay, but once you start getting into like, well, okay, well, can you do this and you just being nitpicky, and then you just walk out, and it's just like, okay, so then it makes me think, so do I need to up my prices? Because
well, I have a friend who says he includes his tips in his service.
I mean,
okay, so Adrian, let me see. She said those tips get you unscheduled last minute. That's my VIP client. She knows. She called me. I'd be like, I was going out of time. When can you come in?
You know what?
Meet me there.
I didn't.
To ensure preferential service.
Thank you, Adrian, because now this just helped me. This just helped me. That just helped me. Thank you, Lord. Won't he do it?
But to me, she should be grateful she got anything. And this is me.
I was gonna say the same thing too.
With this percentage they want us to give these people, y'all want me to give y'all more than I give God. If I give God 10% and you want 20%,
you better preach, Justin.
Come on, man. And I'm not being funny. And I tip you based on how you treat me. If I gotta keep queuing you, then my drink is low, I'm not gonna leave you no good tip. Then I have done it while if you $1, I said, work on your service, please. Not being funny, but I should tell you my food is cold because you brought it to me and you know it was cold. You knew it was sitting back out for 20 minutes before you brought it. And you knew it was cold. So what you should have done was they need fresh food, come out. I asked them to cook your food all over again. It's gonna be a while. Would you like an appetizer or something? Don't send me that cold
we
food.
Reward really
good
service. Yeah, but there have been times when it's been horrible. Like, Applebee's, our people, and we've left $1.
See, I don't even go. Okay, Applebee's is where I go when I need a $3 drink and I can get about $5. I don't anticipate. I just don't anticipate nothing. I don't expect nothing.
If you get something, you're excited and you're unexpected. Right.
So at Applebee's, like if you come back at least 3 times and be like, I'm bringing out some napkins.
She did her job. So we was expecting too much. Okay.
So Applebee's, I'm like, if I can get me a $3 drink and I can get about 5 of them, like I'm like, okay. But I just don't, okay, so our average is about 15. And our average is about 15% that we do tip. And a lot of times, Walter is more on the whether or not it's like, okay, we're gonna fall below that, based on like she didn't like the person didn't come back to fill his drink or things like that. So he bases it on on things like that.
But do you actually pull out a calculator to figure it out?
Well, a lot of times now they have it at the bottom of the receipt.
Oh, that's not right. I've calculated them things. Those things are wrong. A lot of times they're wrong. Yeah, they're more. Do it yourself. Check it yourself. They're trying to get over it.
But are you doing it before tax or after tax?
I don't know. Whatever that number is to say I got to pay. It's never really not a time. I may not tip the whole 50%. If the service was not good, I may not tip the whole 15%, but I will not leave a tip. Because most of the time it's either over. I don't pull out a calculator, but I'll always tip. And I always tip a minimum of 5. But if here, I would have tipped probably like.
I probably would have tipped the whole. I mean, at 100 and something, at that amount of the bill, I would have tipped the 15.
But you see, you don't know where her budget is. She already paid $184. She left $15. She had $200 to spend on dinner, and then she wrote a note. You did good. It was a wonderful experience. She's thanking you. And
I. This is the other thing too. First and foremost. First of all, you don't compliments don't pay a tuition. Well, compliments and thank yous and things like that. And even in my profession, don't pay certain things or whatever. But some people are just not accustomed to accustomed to tipping. And then, I always feel like sometimes as hairstylists, people, I always said that people just really, sometimes I think people just think that this some 8-week program that we went through. We learned how to, smooth up your edges, smooth up your hair, give you some curls, or, give you some color, in 8 weeks. And, like this is nothing. Like, so people don't really understand. And when I break it down to people and it's like, okay, well, your hair is breaking and let me break it all the way down. And then your mouth is wide open when I'm done because you had no idea. It's not an 8-week program. Because if the first time I do something that's not right and your hair is coming out, like, you're going to be looking at me like, what are you going to do to fix it? Or did you went somewhere and had your hair done and somebody jacked you up and then you come to me because somebody said, Shanika is all about, taking care of your hair. Go see her. So I just think that people really should stop. This person is, and if this person worked hard and they're servicing you and you're not waiting for things and they're coming back around to check on you and they're doing everything that they need to do in their power to keep you happy and you're not calling for the manager by the time you're up and done, then yes, tip at least, tip the 15%. Because
is she wrong though?
I mean, she's not wrong.
So so if she couldn't tip the 15 cents, you basically saying she should have kept her ass home.
No, I guess she tipped what she needed to.
She tipped what she had.
Okay, she tipped what she had.
It looks to me, this chick had $200. So she said, whatever this tip is, it can't go over $200 because it's not $200.
So do you think that she wasn't really anticipating, or did she just?
Maybe she said, I got $200 for dinner tonight. So okay, so I can give her the change for tip. No, it didn't equal 15, but I'm gonna give her. I mean, no, it didn't equal the 15%, but I'm gonna give her the 15.80 cents, and let her know that I really appreciate.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. So I do not think that you.
Ungrateful person. That's an ingrateful.
Well, I don't know, but I think all that was extra because it's not anybody's responsibility to take care of your bills and know, in your mind. I mean, because depending on what you're doing with this tip or whatever the case may be, you take yours off the top. You take your 3% off the top and do whatever you're gonna do, and you put that towards your tuition, and you just work harder. I mean, I don't know. I don't like people who don't tip. Okay, let me not say I don't like people that don't.
You already said you can't. Words are non-retrievable.
I know. That's not what I meant.
But it's what was in your heart.
I know. That's not what I meant. What I meant was,
it was on the heart.
If you are getting a service and you can tip, I think you should tip. Yes.
Well, at least she didn't walk out and leave for nothing. Okay, we have some comments. You're going to catch up on these. So Tamisha said, go ahead, JDGS, you better preach. Deborah said, you give me poor service, that's what your tip going to be. Tamisha said, I use my Uncle Dog's theory. The tip start at $20. If my glass gets empty, that's $2. If you're rude, that's $2. If my food's cold, that's $2. If I call you and you ignore me, that's $2. So the service reflects how much tip you get. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. Start from 2 and you work your way down. 20. I don't know if I'm going to start from 20 though.
But I think if you leave your tip on the table and show them how much you're going to leave them, sometimes I believe they'll work hard. Now, my guard.
Before the food?
No, I'm saying just late. Don't give it to them. Now, my guard then, I'm going to be honest. Don't go out to eat with him. Because if the service is horrible, we get up and we leave it.
Well, okay, so for instance, when we went to our favorite place the other day, we already knew how much we were expecting to pay. So we already knew what kind of roundabout what the tip was going to be. But I enjoy the food. I enjoy the ambiance. I enjoy all of that. So I think that even if the person wasn't all on top of it, I just enjoyed the atmosphere. So they would just get a good tip out of me just because I enjoy being there and not necessarily.
So your food was to the establishment, not necessarily to your tip.
Yes.
All right, let's read Amy's.
I usually tip 15%. Yes, I calculated. If the service is good, no problem. Ripping 15 to 18%.
Kiana says, so do you all tip when they automatically add the gratuity?
No.
Like, oh, no.
No.
And they slick about that too. They don't tell you.
Yeah.
Adrian.
Also, do you pay the tip in cash or on card? Paying on the card requires food service workers to pay taxes on the tip. Paying in cash allows them to put the money in their pockets.
Oh, I did not know that.
You know what? But we don't normally. I have put I have put my tip on my
Card.
card, but I didn't know that either. So, but I will not do
Thank
that
you,
anymore.
Adrian. I didn't know
Yes.
that. I didn't know that. Food service workers don't even make minimum wage. They rely on exactly. Hairstylists too. We don't, but I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, because I like.
So give
I
us
mean,
tips.
yeah, because I
More tips. I think you should tip more than the service.
I
Your
feel
work.
like okay. So wait, listen. So listen. Do you work by the hour or do you work by the service? Do you charge by the hour or do you charge by the service?
By the service. You charge. I don't understand how you charge by the hour. I'm gonna do your hair, so and if it takes 2 hours, it's gonna be this price. No, where do they do that at?
It's a lot of people to do it.
In Virginia.
I'm in the hair shows and classes, and people say that they charge by the hour, depending on what. Like if you're doing a color, and then people do a lot of a la carte.
Now I can see like when you do those really elaborate colors, like biology and all that kind of stuff. I can see that being in by the hour, but I can't say for your shampoo and style because you know my technique. I'll shampoo you and put the cap on your head, and you're in the corner until I get. So because she there 4 hours, did I charge her 4 hours?
I mean, no, but you know that 4 hours is not an average. So it's like okay for.
I don't know. Would anybody pay a service by the hour? I don't. I mean, I want.
Yeah, because if you're saying okay, this service averages out to be 2 hours. So if you do a shampoo and style or an hour, so an hour is $60 an hour.
Yeah.
So
let me know how you work out with that.
Well, it's $60 anyway, and I've done somebody in an hour and it was $60
for what?
A blowout.
Oh, okay.
actually, it wasn't. You know how much it was?
How much? Jeez. All right. For color, Adrian said for color, it could take 4 hours very easily. Very easy. Thank you, Adrian, for reminding me that we had to work on your color next time.
Okay,
got this new technique. I want to try. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Wait. What did you say? What is Bo agreeing with? What did you say?
We were talking about the charging by the hour. He's a hairstylist in DC, Maryland area. Yeah.
Really? In Maryland, they charge by service? Y'all charge by service?
Bo looks expensive. When I met Bo at Mazzani, he's an educator from Mazzani as well. He looked expensive.
So he could charge by the hour, right?
He could. I don't think he would. But would you charge by the hour? Because I know you just went back into the business. Let us know. Would you charge by the hour? I'm glad I'm a long-term customer. Yes. Tips. Oh, we're talking about tips. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's go. What's the next one? Tamisha said, "Oh my God, Will, do you really put baby in the corner? I'm dead." Yes. Every hairstylist you've ever known that's ever been created. Yes. And if we're behind, we'll give you a free conditioner because you really need that. Your ends look dry, and we're gonna put this conditioner and sit you over here and let you sit for
this mask, honey.
And then we're gonna act like we turned the thing, and it's just go off when we're ready to get.
You need this mask. This reconstructive.
Yes.
Honey.
Well, what you been doing? What have you been doing since you
was here last?
All of that. Yeah.
You
Those are inside trips and ticks, trips, tips, and all that. What's
Okay.
next?
So, tomorrow, guys, make sure you check out. He said no, he wouldn't. Make sure you check out Jada Pinkett's Red Table Talk because Snoop Dogg will be on there tomorrow, and she is going to be talking to him about the comment that he made towards Gayle King, and she.
I'm so sick of that.
I just want to hear what he has to say about it. She was like, she felt like she said that
it was an attack on women.
It was an attack on women.
On her.
And that she felt like it just hurt her. It just hurt her, and then it kind of like made her feel some kind of way. Willow feel some kind of way, and her mother feel some kind of way that he said that, and he was up there. He did one of your numbers.
Sometimes that's all you can say.
But he did say that when he talked to his mom, and the reason why he gave Gayle the apology, he basically said two wrongs don't make no right. She did. When you're wrong, you got to fix it, he began. So with that being said, Gayle King, I publicly tore you down by coming at you in a derogatory manner based off of emotions, me being angry at questions that you asked. I overreacted and should have handled it handled it way different than that. I was raised better than that. So I would like to apologize to you publicly for the language that I used in calling you out of your name and just being disrespectful. He said, I didn't mean for it to be like that. I was just expressing myself for a friend that wasn't here to defend himself. A lot of people look up to me and they love me and they appreciate me. So I want to let them know that anytime you mess up, it's okay to fix it. It's okay to man up and say that you're wrong. I apologize. Hopefully we can sit down and talk privately. Have a good day. So I do have a question though.
What's the question?
So my question is,
I would have been a little bit petty. I would say, I apologize for calling you up.
No way.
But that's just me. That's just how I handle things.
So are people more apt to justify their behavior than to acknowledge it and apologize and just chalking it up as like,
if
I
he's
said
not
what
really
I said?
sorry. Yeah. I don't think he's really sorry. I mean, I just think he got so much pressure on him. And then somebody probably came at them dollars. What did you say? If he had smoked a little, he would have been a little bit more chill. Right. I mean, I think people in general, yeah, if you have things coming at you, if you're at risk of losing things, I think you're more apt to be forced. I think there was a forced apology. I don't think it's sincere.
Well, I will be tuning in to the Red Table Talk tomorrow because I want to hear what he has to say.
Do you think it's going to be even more real because he's sitting at the Red Table with Jada?
No, I just like when she just says, we're just here to do a spiritual healing.
Is that what she's saying?
Spiritual healing, honey.
I got to think of something. I say,
no, I say, is it spiritual healing? Is it a spiritual healing?
Or is that Iyanla? Not on my watch.
No, is it?
He needs to go on Iyanla.
A spirit of healing. Spirit of healing.
Okay. I just say let it go. It's old. You know what Adrian said. He's probably sorry about the delivery, but exactly.
Well, I mean, that's always.
I don't even know if he's sorry about the delivery.
Right. That's always. But that's why I say that's my whole thing with saying I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you sorry because maybe her feelings or everybody got on you, or are you sorry because of what you said?
That's
because because if you would have thought that all the way through, and you was really, really would have been sorry, you would have never said it. So I agree with Adrian. I don't necessarily think that he's, but I said, with the whole him being on the show with Martha Stewart, that somebody probably was lighting it up. And that was a little nasty. Yeah,
because it's a reflection. It's a reflection. Right. Okay, all right. I have to get to this topic.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, guys. Put on your mature hats. Okay, so Billy Porter has confirmed, everybody knows this by now, that he's going to be joining Sony's upcoming adaptation of Cinderella. He's an Emmy award-winning, Tony award-winning actor. Most people know him from Pose. He's given some insight on his upcoming role as Fab G, which everybody knows is the fairy godmother, basically, for Cinderella. It's the role that Whitney Houston played when she did it with Brandy. That's the role that he's going to play. Many people are excited and happy to see him cast for this role, and the Hollywood producers are welcoming the diversity, while there are other people, a lot of people really, who are vowing to condemn it, calling it misogynist and immoral. So my question to you is, are you here for it or are you not? Why or why not? I saw this right here and I was like, what in the world? She was like, I'm so sick of this mess, not on my watch, not my son. And she got the belt, so he can ready to spank him because he wanted to go see Cinderella as a man. So what? Are y'all here for it or not? Hey, Ronnies, join the discussion booth. What do y'all think? Now everybody can get all sensitive and they don't want to hurt Justin's feelings.
Lord Jesus.
Okay, let me just go on and dive.
Go ahead. Come on, because everybody's quiet. That's why I put this topic off for 2 weeks. Y'all I don't know if they're ready for it.
Okay, I feel like all my life I've known the fairy godmother to be a woman, a white woman. Okay. I mean, I know it until they did the diversity Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney and the Asian guy and the white father and okay. So I felt like that was the one. That was the one. Where I'm having a problem is now that I just feel like for inclusion purposes, are things going to start being made over to include and for everybody? Or are things going to...
So they can start backtracking to correct history, basically?
To correct, I mean, if that's how, if that's, yeah, I guess, if that's what you want to say, or not really necessarily to correct history, but to redo things. Okay, so for instance, like Steel Magnolias, like I don't think that they needed to remake Steel Magnolias to have a black version of Steel Magnolias. Like I don't think that was necessary for them to do that. I enjoyed the first Steel Magnolias, and it was
with Dolly Parton and all of them. Okay,
fine. I mean, you know, I feel like some things don't always need to have a point. Just like, for instance, I know this is kind of still sidebar, but just like some things start to become offensive in a sense. Just like when I talk to you about the always pads. Pads are for women. So if you are now non-binary or transgender, and you're still having a menstrual cycle, but you on the outside look like a guy, and you just happen to be having your menstrual cycle, and you go into the men's restroom, now you're upset, or that you're mad at Always because they have the female symbol on there. So now we're going to write Always and tell them that it's not okay that you have a female symbol on pads that are for women. So as a woman, I am offended because you are choosing to be a transgender person. But
some people feel like they were born that way.
Okay, and if you were born that way, but you're still having a menstrual cycle, which are for women, why do we need to take the female symbol off of Always pads? I don't understand. Because then what about a person who, as myself, is a woman who feels like I was born a woman, who wants to have children? I am excited when my cycle comes because I know I am still able to bear children.
Oh, is that what that means?
What?
Y'all, that's why y'all have it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You knew that.
No.
You did it?
I thought I knew the biblical reason for why y'all bled, but I didn't know that just symbolizes. So because you have it, well, I'll ask you off air. But no, I really didn't. I wasn't interested, number one. But then number two, I didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah.
So when my cycle comes, it's like, okay,
you get excited.
Yes.
Because I know people who hate it.
People do.
As a matter of fact, they were in the shop talking about that they hated it. They were like, all the
well,
things
yeah, I mean,
that come with it.
all the things that come with it, but still at the end of the day, it still symbolizes that I can still bear children. I can still have children. I can still, I'm still in the point. I mean, there's, in
the baby booming business.
Yes. So it's exciting to me, but
so did you want another child?
Huh?
No, I just think she's excited because she can if she wanted to.
Right.
So next, do you know the next one we can go out?
Sorry. Let's go.
Celebrate.
So Walker is expecting a little baby.
Yeah. Okay, so Ranish, she said, I think... Week 6.
Excuse me.
Okay. I think to each his own. If folks mind their own business and clean their own effing backyards, they wouldn't have to be so judgmental. You're right, Ranice. So I love you. She said, boom. I think to each his... Oh, she always... Oh, so she wanted to post that twice. Jan. Okay. And Amy. All right. Okay.
So, but anyways, the point being...
Oh, wait a minute. I have one over here, too.
Okay.
Tamisha says, why can't the fairy godmother be a man? Especially if he slayed the part, he might cause the role to be looked at. Now, he's definitely going to bring a different perspective. Be looked at differently. I agree with that part.
Okay,
but I think the biggest thing is how... And I really have no right to be complaining, but for the sake of just being ignorant, I'll say, like you're saying, why does everything now have to be changed? Because there are other things that I'm noticing had to be changed because it's mostly LGBT related, which I feel, okay, so why now does someone, like you said, had to write a letter to someone and have the picture movement? Now we have to threaten back, what's the word? We have to threaten not patroning this product so that changes can be made. Right. When, okay, just use your product. We don't have to change the whole labeling and everything. Right. So for Always, they want the woman sign.
They don't want the woman sign on there at all because they feel like they're non-binary or they're
and it doesn't represent everybody.
But everybody does not have a period. Women have periods or menstrual cycles. So it should have I mean, that's offensive to me. That's offensive. I think that I think that as
Not
a woman,
the fact that transgender people use it. Offensive in the fact that they're demanding that everything is.
it's offensive to a woman who is not a transgender person. I am not. So I feel like you're taking away from my femininity of saying I am a woman that is not a transgender woman, who is not of whatever, that I'm a woman. So because you're offended that it's the woman sign on there and you are a transgender person, it shouldn't be on there. So then am I allowed to write back to always and say I'm offended that you're taking it off because I am a woman? And you know what I'm saying? Like how far is this movement going to go? Because I just think that it's offensive. I feel like whether you're transgender, whether you're a cross-dresser, whether you're a drag or whatever, if you're having a cycle, your parts of you is still a woman, and women have cycles. So like whether you're going into the men's room, like men, there would not be a receptacle in the men's room. And my thing is, I have been in a bathroom where there is not a receptacle to put my products in. I don't even leave. If I'm having my cycle and I go to somebody's house, I don't even leave it in their house. I take a bag with me, put it in the bag, wrap it up, and I take it in the first trash can I come to, I throw it away.
Thank you. Nate said, let's clear this up. What did he say? Let's clear up this. If someone is gender identifying, by the time they are having a cycle, they are on a puberty blocker. So I'm equally offended by that comment. That was horrible. I also don't think things are being changed, but they're making things relevant.
I mean, but how relevant for all? I mean, even with Cinderella, okay, that's good if that's what because it's a imaginative play. I think is what they called it. It's an imaginative play, which okay, I get it. It's an imaginative play, so you're supposed to have an imagination. I think that's what it's bringing about is imagination on whatever it is that you can imagine or whatever.
No, we're talking about Cinderella. Or are we talking about?
No, we're talking about Cinderella.
Okay.
So
all right.
It's an imaginative play. So that's that's good. But in other things, I just feel like some things just don't need to. We just don't need to. Even if it's for the purpose of let's make a color. Let's make a black version of it, or let's make a again like to fit into all these categories because. If we're gonna remake everything at some point, I'm just like, forget it. I don't even want to watch TV because, like, then I gotta watch this version.
Because
I gotta watch this version.
I'm trying to figure out what your version to it is. Is it because it takes away the original meaning of it? Is it because it waters it down? Why are you?
I think because in my mind, like I've always seen, like this is my idea of what Cinderella is, and then it's like, okay, we went from this version, the original version, if you will, of Cinderella. Then we went to the diversity version of Cinderella. And now we went to the LGBTQ form
times are changing, times are progressing.
So it's like, okay, so then
when the original one came out, I'm sure back then they weren't even, is there anybody black in the original Cinderella?
No. I mean, it was a cartoon, and then I think they made it a live person. Yeah.
So then they moved forward to where,
and then I think people was upset because
now everything is just it's really gender related.
And then we came up with Tiara because then we had to have a princess. So then we had Tiara.
She in Cinderella.
No, but I'm just saying, we had to have a black princess. So then that became Tiara. That's her name, right?
Yeah, that's right. Adrian
Tiara and the Frog.
When I was looking at websites, I just saw inclusion everywhere. So that's a good point, Adrian. She said inclusion is a big topic nowadays. So yeah, everybody because civil rights is big nowadays, and I think everybody wants to be represented.
Right, everybody wants to be represented, but then I think does it? Okay, I'm making reference to this always thing because it's bothering me. It's bothering me because I feel like in a sense it's like I'm almost feeling like I'm losing my identity to people who are in the. Who can call always and say, take this off of there. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't represent me because I'm a transgender person or I'm a non-binary person. No, but I'm just
we gotta say, we don't know when people came on. And I don't want no phone calls. Yeah.
Shit like that. Those are real.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, and then like how where do you like? I don't know. I know what I'm wanting to say, and I know how I feel about it. But it's
You're
just
very
like
passionate about
yes, because I just feel like I don't want me being a woman to be watered down or to be left behind or swept under the rug because there's so many people fighting to be included and represented because because they feel like this is going against but I just feel like that's why they have the family restroom. Go in the family restroom. I'm sure that there's instead of going into the men's restroom, but then that brings on a whole another issue. Like, okay, this person.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
No. Okay, so we switched conversations.
Oh,
so
what
you said? So you're opposing what transgender going into the male?
No, I'm saying like from the article that I read, and the guy was saying that he went into the transgender person had went into the restroom and he was having his cycle, but there was nowhere for him to dispose of his product, feminine products. So he felt some kind of way because he kind of like had it in his hand. But I'm like, as a woman, I've had to walk out of a stall because it wasn't one, or walk out of somewhere with it, and I put it in something, wrapped it up, put it in my pocket, and when I just had to do what I had to do, and then find a trash can and put it in there. So I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, why is this a big deal? Like, why?
Okay, so because I didn't read the article. Okay. Let me see if I'm following it right. So this is someone who was born female.
Yes.
Now lives as a male,
yes.
looks like a male.
Yes.
Who goes to the male bathroom.
Yes.
But because they haven't completed everything, they're still having their cycle.
Yes.
And they want to have something in the male's bathroom where they can dispose of their always.
Right.
That's stupid. You gotta make up your mind.
Right.
But I think I'm not sure if maybe it wasn't in the article, or like Nate says, by the time they're at this point, they're not having their cycles anymore. So maybe that person's to the point where they're in the progress that they haven't gotten to that point where they're having these blockers. Because because you said, I think once you fully become a male or whatever, you don't have those anymore.
But if you still have a vagina and your ovaries and all that, won't you still have until you have all that?
Well, I believe
they will move on it because they make you a little.
Yeah, you get a little.
But if you want that, but if you're not to the point, if you can't afford that, and you still have everything that's going to cause you to have.
But I think they'll at least stop that part. I wouldn't think you out playing basketball. I wouldn't.
Please don't. I cannot cough again. I cannot.
I wouldn't. I think we're going to plead ignorant on that subject. I think Nate is a little bit right. I don't like saying it, but I think Nate. He says that's your Cinderella though. A lot of people haven't seen it, so they're making it a relevant fairy tale. Okay. Wow, I'm very shocked to hear a woman being offended by the notion of inclusion.
But I don't think that it's who said that.
Coming for you tonight. This is Nate.
I'm not thinking that Nate. So because to me it's not. I feel like everything about being a woman is important to me. Like because it.
Do you feel threatened by it?
I feel threatened that a man, not a man. I guess a person who is a transgender person could actually send a letter and say, or a non-binary person, and can say, I'm offended that this female sign is on the pads, and I think that y'all should remove it, and always really considered or made the decision to do it, because I'm like, then what are you standing for? What is your stance on this? Because women have periods, men don't have periods, and it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. If you are still having a period, then something about you is female and you're having a period. So even if you're transitioning to be a transgender person or even a non-binary person, why is this your battle? Why is this your battle? Why is this your battle? And to me, it's because I'm just like, I'm a woman, and I feel like when I saw that, when I bought the pack and I opened, I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. I like it. I was excited to see it. And then
because you can have babies still.
Because I can have babies.
Yes. You talking about the pants, right? You talking about pants?
I ain't thinking about your ass.
But they sell man pants now.
They sell man pants?
I promise you.
For what?
In the medical field, they sell man pants, no lie.
For what? No, I need you to tell me for what.
I guess I don't know, but they do sell man pants.
For what, Justin?
Or maybe it's for the transgender one?
In case they leak like y'all
Leak what? What are they leaking in? Because if you leaking, you got a disease.
I don't know, but for real, if you look it up, they sell man pants. They sell them.
Adrian, yes, package labels do change all the time, but I just didn't like that change because a person that was non-binary submitted a letter and said change it.
So Amanda Hill said that is right. Always should have made a statement saying this product is made for females. I think you should have one best friend.
Okay, that's not the same thing.
I think she ain't talking about tampon. You not talking
That
about
wasn't a tampon.
No, he thought you was talking about tampon.
That's a pad.
That's a pad.
But I thought it was for. Okay, that's a pad. But I thought it was like a year. I can't see. I don't have my glasses
That's a pad.
on. But what is it for? It says for men. Mm-hmm. Justin, give me that.
For men.
Give it.
It's still a pad.
How much are they?
What you need this for?
Incontinence. Adrian said incontinence.
Right. Okay. So it's not. Okay. So, but it's not
Adrian, you should
for.
go to medicine school.
But it's not for because he's having a period.
But still, it's a pad. So I guess it's men wear pads now.
But it's for.
Did you stop?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Nate said people shun that which they don't understand. Tamisha said some men have a cycle. Some men act like they have a cycle.
Right.
I know I've been doing it.
Like, some men too act like they have a cycle.
Yeah,
Do we need to clear the audience? I will have security to take you out.
Security.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we only got maybe 7 more minutes. So okay. So are we through? Nobody really wanted to talk about. I guess everybody's here for it. Anybody not going to go see it because they were saying that the fashions are going to be on point.
I mean, even the picture that I posted of him is absolute. That dress is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, and I've never seen him where he was not. I mean, just gorgeous in every outfit that he's had.
Okay, never mind.
And
all right.
Oh, what that pink lampshade thing that he had on, but but you have to be there for it. Whatever, y'all.
I don't know who's watching. So you're right. I think you said this. Did you have another topic that we're gonna close with, or how are we gonna do this?
This is the one that you want to talk about.
The instincts. Okay. So this is something that we've talked about before, but I want to know, especially Adrian. I would love to hear your thoughts, and also Yolanda and Nate. I want to hear all your thoughts. So okay, this is an experience, not really a letter, but it's an experience. So she said, so this morning I had my first experience with going through a guy's cell phone. I've never done it before because I figured if I ever had that with someone that I was dating and trusted, then whatever I was thinking was right, or I didn't really trust them at all. And I was right. So I did it. I regret it, and I'm glad that I know, and I'm devastated and furious and a lot of other emotions all at the same time. I deleted his number and blocked him from everything, while also leaving a few notes that I wrote on his bed before I went home while he was sleeping. It hurts, but I don't really take kindly to being lied to, so I guess I'll have to suck it up and wait for the pain to blow over. I'm saying this now, but I love him, and I'm just hoping that I'm not stupid enough to forgive him. Love makes you stupid. Just made it home, and he probably hasn't even read the notes yet, and I'm already wishing that I had stayed. Easier said than done, I guess. So my question is, was she wrong, number one, to search through his phone while he was asleep? And then, have you ever done anything because of just instincts? You think it was instincts? I've done a lot of things because I feel like I have a really close relationship with God, and sometimes he'll tell me, you need to look through that phone, things like that. Do you ever do anything out of instinct?
I have done things out of instincts and out of hearing, really like hearing.
No, do you think instincts and insecurity are very closely related? Because I can, looking back on situations, some things that I thought was my instincts, it probably was a little bit of insecurity that I felt like.
I honestly think that, I feel like if you have a close relationship, this is just me, my opinion. I think that if you have a close relationship with God, I think that you can differentiate between insecurity and instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that it would be clear. Like, I think that when God speaks to you, it is very, very clear. Like, if you've ever had God speak to you, it is very precise. It is go to this. It would be right there.
So that's not who I've been.
No, you have to be
because I'm like, okay.
Like,
Adrian said,
I just feel like
you look for dirt and you will find it. You
yeah.
gotta be ready for what you find. Intuition is real, absolutely.
Yeah. But I think that sometimes people use intuition. I think that sometimes people, I don't like when people say that. I don't like when a woman's intuition. I'm not saying that it's not real, but sometimes I just think that that's just a way for you to cover up some shit that you out here. You just it was a woman's intuition. No, you was just on some bullshit for real. Like you just.
Nate said one time someone went through my phone and called his own number. Self-inflicted pain. I did. I knew the number looked familiar though. I'd never been so embarrassed. I know this number. Called on my phone rang.
You know what? That's what you did.
I agree with you. I do think if you have a close relationship with God, He can lead you without it being insecurity. My last relationship, I was at work one night. God told me to leave work. Don't even let because I was a supervisor, don't let nobody know I was leaving. So I got my little keys, left the building, locked the doors up. It was a nursing home in Richmond. Thank God didn't happen while I was gone. But when I went to the house, He told me don't go through the front door. So I hopped over the fence, went through the patio door, and seen everything that I needed to see. But the reason why I guess the Spirit told me not to go through the front door had the bolt on it to where you had to be in the inside to unlock it.
Mm.
So with me going through the patio, normally let the patio unlock to let the dogs out during the nighttime, blah, blah, blah. The dogs knew it was me. They didn't make no noise. So when I went in, I seen what I needed to see, blah, 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 blah.
So how do you know there wasn't insecurity then?
It was not insecurity because at that point, I was at work. Somebody said, you need to go home. It went on insecurity. Oh, I think they cheating, blah, blah, blah. It was something to say, you need to go home now. You're going to see X, Y, and Z.
So you heard all of that?
Yeah, and for an hour, I debated going home. I said, do you want to go home and face it? Blah, blah, blah. What do you really want to do?
I mean,
and they kept telling me, you need to go home. You need to go home. You need to go home. At that point, the part-time job didn't matter. I had to do what I was led to do. And when I was led to do it, I found out what I need to find out. And bye-bye, you get your...
Have you heard any of those voices lately? You haven't?
No, Christine.
I mean, but have you ever had that experience of like God leading you right to something? We just talked about this. You said like last week, like
yeah. Well, I was in communion with Him,
okay.
But it wasn't Him, warning me of something that was going on. No, but I've had situations where I know it was Him. I felt His presence, and there have been situations when I felt, but I can't honestly sit here and tell you that it wasn't insecurity.
I mean, I've had some insecure moments.
Not insecurity from me doing something, but just from past baggage, like seeing similar actions and being like, yeah, that type of situation.
I mean, I've had the moments of saying, okay,
something don't feel right.
It's just going off. Like, who is it?
Man, that's insecurity.
That's just being silly and being insecure.
Take the phone.
Sometimes
somebody calling you. Somebody calling you.
They do come up from past relationships. Like if it's 2:00 in the morning, your phone will. Now it could be insecurity.
But see, but
who's that calling us at 2:00 in the morning?
That's natural to say, hey, who the fuck is that texting him at 2:00 in the morning?
But see, I think that really, to be honest, because my husband is in the military and just like now when women, because we were together when when they started letting women on the ship. And so for me, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a disaster. But I had to realize that was his job and that if he cared enough about his family and his job, that he wouldn't do anything to jeopardize that situation. So I don't think that, I think that I had to really like put myself in a place of like not being insecure about that. And knowing that like sometimes some of the jobs he had to be in charge of people. So sometimes he might get a 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning call.
Yeah.
You know, and even still now he still does, and I'm just like, babe your phone, you know, whatever. And you know, but I have to just know within myself that even though I'm like, dang, well, what if it really is somebody? I'm just like, Shanika, don't do that to yourself. Because so some things I'm just like, I'm just not, I just don't want to do it to myself. I just don't. But I think that, but I honestly feel like if it is something that I need to be warned of or told about, I really think that God will reveal it to me.
You just have to be sensitive to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nate said, I do believe God gives you intuition or discernment, but it's not during moments of uncertainty because he's not the author of confusion. Kamisha said, God will take care of you and he will cause an unrest. That's what I get. Unrest in your spirit when something, someplace, or something is not good for you. He will take care of you so that you pay attention to the warnings. That is exactly what I get. I get that. You know what? Uneasy. I did write that chapter. I do get that uneasiness. That I can't get settled. And I've adopted Oprah's thing where she said, when you have those feelings of being uncertain and you don't have that peace, because God always operates in a place of peace, don't do anything.
But you know what? That's hard for me because when I
it's easy for me not to do nothing.
Well, okay, so this I think I get confused because I'm like, okay, Lord, like, because I know that it's like when I left the okay, so when I went and worked at when I left to go to the suites, the first one, and I was like, okay, Lord, like, should I? Because I mean, my bill, my booth rent or my bill doubled. Really, it tripled. It really like 4 times. Like, okay, so I'm like, Lord. Like, okay, you're going to have to figure this out because I know with the clients that I have, and there's no guarantee that all of them are going to come. So this bill has went really, it doubled, about double, 3 times what I was paying where I was at. So I was like, okay, Lord, but so, and then I was trying to think like, is God telling me? Like, I couldn't hear. It's like, is God telling me to go? Is him not saying anything? Is this meaning not to go? But I did it anyway. And then for a very long, I think the whole time while I was there, I was still like, okay, I don't necessarily know that it was a good move, but I never missed I never missed paying my rent. And even though I felt like I was still uneasy about it, it was like, okay, it was a step for me. Now where I'm at now, when I made that move to go, I was like, oh yeah, Lord, thank you. Because it fell in place so easy. It just felt like everything just fell in place. And I was caught up between 2 leases. And then where I am now, the owner was like, listen, don't worry about it. You know, I really want you to be here. You know, whatever I got to do to help you out. So I knew at that point, it was
all
like,
okay,
those right. So, but yeah, sometimes I just get confused about what my thoughts are and what God's thoughts are.
You can read that.
So,
we have to wrap up.
Okay, so Amy says, you do you and I'll do me, and we will meet somewhere in the middle. Don't have time for all the extra nonsense.
Nate said, but that uncertainty can still be masked in insecurities. That's true. That's true. Amy said what?
If I feel like I need to check someone, I don't need to be with that person.
You can always have to check them. He's not always obedient. Every now and then, do you know who you're with? When he gets a line. Right?
I'm a Scorpio, Shanika.
We just let them say
just let me talk. Just let me talk. Okay, everybody. You know what, you guys participated this week.
Yes.
So much fun.
Continue to share.
We have to continue to share. Next week we'll be at our studio in Chesapeake. Right?
Yes, we will.
Right, we'll be at our studio in Chesapeake next week. So make sure you guys tune in. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We have a guest who wants to come on. And then I guess in March we're going to start making the show. Is that where we're going to go ahead? Because right now we're almost an hour. No, we're right now an hour. We're almost an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
And that has been her goal the whole time. I said, let's just keep it an hour. But, she kept pushing. Well, I guess as long as everybody's tuning in. Yeah, we do have a lot of stuff. I'm good with 75 minutes. I think after 75 minutes, research shows people start to slack off. The
Right.
attention span.
Well, we're at 13 viewers.
I mean, we've had high moments. I think we'll talk
20
about
something,
it.
yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, but just continue to share. I'm glad that you all are enjoying our topics. And we would also like to say that if there's something that you would like for us to talk about, all you have to do is just send us a message. You can send it in the comments or you can send it via email.
What's their email address?
Our email address is
the chat CW.
I thought you was
Is
gonna
it
say
CW? The chat CW at
gmail.com.
The chat Shanika will.
Yes. So the chat CW at gmail.com.
Yeah.
And just send us what you would like for us to talk about.
Topics, questions. Shanika had the idea, which I was like, nobody want to know about us. But Shanika was like, if there are any questions you want to know
about us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
so if there's any questions or anything that if we get enough, maybe we can make a show of it. But if not, if there's just individual questions that you want to know about either of us, you could
our
just submit
experiences, our life, or what we would do in situations, or how we feel, or about Justin, our studio audience. Yes. And we're gonna put a sign out of your house for people to come. Just come in.
Yes.
Yeah. in the studio audience. But that's all we have for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Nate, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tune into his show too. DMV Social, My DMV Social Life. It is on everything, but you can go to his Nate, what is your Facebook page? I think it's My DMV Social Life, right? If he's still on. Well,
we had some new people. See, we had some new people, and it brought some shake them up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
She's so excited. You're gonna have your period. You're so excited.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week, right?
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.